Hey everybody, Tyler here. I wanted to make a quick video about Sheetle, my Google Sheets Wordle clone-ish. I've written about this a little bit, and a few people reached out asking if I'd make a video, sort of showing off how it works. And I was on the fence for a bit until somebody reached out and was like, hey, can you show me how to make changes to this? I want to sell it to schools. And I said, blocked. Don't do that. Don't. Teachers have to buy enough things on their own already. It's a spreadsheet. I'm just going to show them how to make it. If you're a teacher and somebody tries to sell you something that looks like this, don't buy it. They're trying to rip you off. It's a lot easier than it looks. First, we can talk a little bit about ownership, I guess. This is the original spreadsheet, Sheetle. To make it your own, you can go to File, and oh, there it is, make a copy. Name it whatever you want. And there it is. It's yours. You'll be listed as the owner. I won't have any involvement in it. You can do literally anything, and I'll have no way of knowing. It's fine. Do this. If you haven't played Wordle before, it's a word guessing game. There's links to it at the bottom of the sheet. Go play the original. They don't ask for money either. I think it's really great. But basically what you do is you type in a 5-letter word, you hit the blue button here, and it tells you what letters you got right for that day's word. You're trying to guess that day's word. So here we can see in gray, it doesn't have a G, it doesn't have a U, it doesn't have S's, but it does have an E, and that E is in the right spot. So if I put in another word, we could try... this is where I really embarrass myself. I'm just going to say trees. I know there's not an S in there, but it's fine. Cool. Okay, so we know that there's a T in the right spot, there is an R, and there is an E in the right spot. And then the yellow means that there is that letter in the word, but it's not in the right place. That all works with conditional formatting. Thank you, London traffic. That all works with conditional formatting. Whoops. Where you have to select the cell first, go to Format, Conditional Formatting, and you can see here these are all actually formulas that I'm using to check each letter against the word, and then color it appropriately. I'm not going to dive into those too deeply, but you can go have a look yourself. To see how the rest of it works, if you want to make this your own, you can right-click on row 12, and you can say Unhide Rows. And so this is all the inner workings, ooh, mysterious. I always put a description in cell A1 just because that's what shows up when you share it on other sites if they try to pull a description from the page. And then here is where I'm pulling my words from. The words are coming from a GitHub repo, actually. Chaz Reed set up a GitHub repo that's redoing some public domain work under the MIT license. So basically what he does is develop this whole list of 5-letter words that I'm just pulling from so I don't have to do that work myself. Mileage may vary depending on what you're trying to do. Then we have a few things going on. First is whether or not it is a new day. There's a bunch of ways to do this, but what I wanted to do was I wanted this sheet to tell me, okay, should I have a new word today? And it does this by saying, okay, what's the day right now? And then in this cell, it's saying if this cell is different from what I am currently, change it to that, otherwise leave it as is. So basically, this cell is checking this cell to see if there are any changes. And if there are any changes, this cell will say true. And then other cells will look at that and increment accordingly. In fact, this cell does that. This cell says, hey, if this cell is true, go up by 1. And if it's not, just stay as is. And it does that all the way up until 365, and then it resets to 1 because I didn't want to have to count how many words were in the repo I was pulling from, but I figured there were more than 365. Very few people are probably going to be playing this for a year, so it would just loop over. The benefit of this is now at the start of each day, I know that the people playing this are going to get a new word because that number is going to go up by 1. And that number is then used in the next cell over, which is today's word. This is fairly simple. This is import data, and then I have the URL of the text file we're pulling from. Import data is used primarily for CSV files. However, let's see if I can. There we go. So this is what the text file looks like. It's just each word has its own line, and in CSV, a new line means a new row. So we're sort of tricking the sheet into saying like, hey, there's a bunch of rows of information here, and then you're going to use index to grab the row that matches that cell in the first column. And then we're going to use upper to change it to all uppercase letters, because that's just easier to match later on. You could also do all lowercase letters. It's whatever you want to do, just so long as they're all the same case. So if you want to make your own version of this, one of the easiest ways to do it is to make a text file that looks like this, where each word is on its own line. Host it somewhere. GitHub's a great option. Glitch is a great option. I use Glitch for a lot of things. And then just plug in the URL right here. And it'll take care of the rest. You can also adjust how the day number progresses. Say if you wanted to make it a random number, you could use like a rand between formula to make it 1 and whatever. From there, we have our submit button. This is a thing I've written about. You can go check out my blog. I'll link it in the video description. That's a thing, right? But basically what we're doing is we're taking this checkbox, which I changed the formatting on, which is funny. So this is actually a checkbox. So when you check it, you can see it here. It goes from true to false, true to false, true to false. These are doing very similar things to what we were doing with the day, where this is checking, hey, did the checkbox change? If so, I will change. Otherwise, I'll stay as is. And then this is just checking is, hey, do they match? Has there been a change? If so, this will say true, and that'll mean that you've submitted a guess. From there, what we do is we go down to the guesses column, or cell rather, and it's doing a whole bunch of things that look kind of scary, but really all it's saying is like, hey, if they submitted, then, or rather, if it's a new day, blank ourselves out, start over, and then if it's submitted, if there's a 5-letter guess in the guess cell, and if that guess isn't already in this list of guesses, and this list of guesses doesn't already contain today's word, we will go ahead and add the uppercase version of the guess to our list. There we go. Sorry, I had to reread my formula for a second. So we're going to add the uppercase version of the guess to the list. If it's the first guess, we're going to not put anything else. Otherwise, we're going to add a comma as well. There's probably a simpler way to do this, but this is just how I did it in the moment. There's no real right way. But basically what we're doing is we're saying if they've submitted and it's a new guess and they haven't already answered the question, then go ahead and just add it to a comma-separated list. This cell, I'm going to admit, probably isn't necessary. What this is doing is adding a pipe character between each letter of each guess. That makes it easier for a split function to split up the words, and we use that a lot in the next two cells. This cell, I'm really proud of this one. You don't feel bad if this doesn't make sense right off the bat. I'm probably going to have trouble remembering what I did here. What this does is it splits our guesses ready to split with the pipe characters, and then it takes the corresponding letter from the word of the day and compares it to each letter from the split results. And if there's an exact match, like position and letter, we return a green emoji. If it's in the word but not in the right place, it's a yellow, and then worst comes to worst, we put in black. And that gives you the grid that looks a lot like what you get from Wordle. Down here, a lot simpler, but we're kind of doing a similar thing. What we're doing is we're splitting the words ready to guess, and then by the commas, either each word is separated by a comma, we transpose it. So normally split goes horizontally. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those horizontal answers and transpose them to vertical. And then we're going to split those answers on the pipe character. And then that will split each letter out horizontally. And that is actually how we build this section, which is why you can click on this and you see a G rather than a formula that's like doing splits and stuff. I've hidden it here in this cell. So, to recap, if you want to make it your own, really the most you want to do is adjust today's word. I'm going to spoil it a little bit. Notice how there's nothing here. There is definitely something there. I did not want people to ruin this for themselves, so I changed the text color to white. So we're going to change it to black. Spoiler alert for the second word, I guess. There. So long as whatever the right word is ends up in this cell, you can do a lot of different things here. If you don't have, say, a hosted text file or a CSV somewhere, the other thing you could do is, I'm just going to add a bunch of rows here. You could do this in a separate sheet as well. Let's say I want, yeah, that's good. Let's say I want a bunch of my own custom words. I'm going to make a list here. We'll call this words. I like labeling things. And then I'm just going to do, whoops, I can count, 2, 3. We're just going to make a numbered list here. Drag this down as far as we want to go. 8 words feels good. And then right to the right, we're going to make our actual words. So I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying to think of 5-letter words. So I'm just going to do A, B, 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 C, 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 C. You might be able to hear my dog drinking water in the background. B, 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 F. Okay, so those, again, can be whatever words you want. And what we're going to do now is we're going to change this formula to, instead of import data, hi, Pepper. Hi, do you want to be part of this? Bonus content, this is Pepper. He's going to go on the couch. So we can change this whole formula to VLOOKUP. And I always forget which order things go in, so I use the little question mark there, the search key first. So our search key is the thing we're searching for, and that's going to be today's date. Then we're going to pick, then we're going to pick the range. So we just select our numbers and our words there. And then we're going to tell it to look in the second column for the result. So what that's doing is that's looking for 2 in the first column, and then returning the corresponding item from the second column. So in this case, that's B, 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 B. And again, this doesn't have to be, every new day. You could just as easily say, like, you could check maybe, have they hit the submit button and already got the answer right? If so, return a random thing. Really, the sky's the limit here. With this, it's just going to keep saying, okay, each new day, go up by 1, and then grab the next word from the list. So tomorrow, for example, it'll grab word number 3. If you wanted to do something different, if you wanted to do like 6-letter words, 7-letter words, what you can do is click somewhere in the middle here. Actually, the exact middle feels pretty good. Again, you want to just click on any one of these columns, and you want to make a new column inside what's already there. So I'll go ahead and just say insert column right. That'll mess up a few things. I've got some numbers here that are used in the conditional formatting. We can fix those real quick. Again, there's probably a better way to do that. But now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That helps the conditional formatting know what letter you're looking at. And now all the formatting and everything is carried over. And I think the conditional formatting should pick up as well. We'll test it real quick. We'll say this is a 6-letter word we're trying to guess. And I'm going to make a random guess here, submit it, and there we go. So now we can see, here's our 6-letter word. Our conditional formatting is all still there, and there's no A's, but hey, there are B's in the right spot, so there we go. And we can even see if I just say, yeah, there we go, right answer, hooray, it's like we knew it. How that works is whenever you create a new column or a new row, if you're making it in the middle of a range that has like formulas working on it or conditional formatting working off of it, those functions and formulas will automatically update so that they still fit the whole range. If you were to add something, say, immediately to the right of this cell, it probably wouldn't pick that up because it's now outside of the range that those formulas are working on. So long as you're making a column within what you're already working on, it should update automatically. Is there anything else? This is going to have trouble because it is working off of a 5-letter word, but no, I'm not going to explain it. If you want to spend some time getting into this, you can definitely do that. The secret is I count to 5 right here, so do with that what you will. All right, so I've now shown you how to make a copy that you own, how to add your own words, how to make it longer words. You could also do the reverse. You can make it shorter words by deleting columns. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter is usually where I'm at Tyler Robertson. We'll have a link to this spreadsheet in the description that will probably exist for this video. Yeah, I guess to close out, I will say reject hustle culture, go take a break, and thank you so much for watching.